A Hall of Famer has called out the Dallas Cowboys front office, and things are starting to get ugly 3 weeks into the season after a crushing defeat at the hands of the Baltimore Ravens. So let's break it down on this episode of Cowboys Digest. Welcome in, everybody, to Cowboys Digest. I'm your host, Peter Vryonis. Hopefully you all got a good night's sleep, and hopefully you're all over the loss that we witnessed on Sunday. But for me, I'm not. I am not over what we witnessed yesterday. And it was a heartbreaker because the Cowboys had no business being in that game. They fought valiantly. They allowed themselves to get back into the contest and still fell short. So that made it sting even more than it would have had they lost 28-6 or whatever the scoreline was. But before we get into the video, I want to let you know that around 85% of you watching are not subscribed to this channel. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps me out a ton. It allows me to make daily Cowboys content for you, and that's what I love doing. So go ahead and do that. Helps me out a ton, and you'll see more and more videos as the subscriber count grows and grows. But thanks to each and every one of you for the support that we've received on previous videos. But let's get straight into it. Let's not waste any time here. I'm seeing a team, I wonder what the hell they did all week. It can happen to anybody one week, but not back-to-back weeks in your own building. And that was Rex Ryan on Get Up this morning, talking about the Cowboys defense after the loss to the Ravens. Now, Rex Ryan, not a Hall of Famer. We will get to the Hall of Famer who did call out the Cowboys, but this is just not a good look. And we were all saying it all week long. We were saying that Baltimore was going to try to run it down your throat, and you have to sell out for the run. If you get burned on some pass plays, so be it. If you have to make Lamar Jackson beat you in the pocket, and he does, so be it. But again, like, you knew that they were going to run the football with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson in the backfield, and there was nothing that you did to change your schematic game plan, and it showed in the scoreline. It showed in the rushing yards that the Ravens had yesterday. 274 yards on the ground yesterday for Baltimore. That is an astronomical amount of yards, and Lamar Jackson only had to throw the ball 15 times. I get it that they were up big and that they were trying to play the clock game there at the end, but come on, man. Come on. You know exactly what's coming, and you still can't stop it. I don't know if it's an effort thing. I don't know if Mike Zimmer needs a shakedown here and needs to figure out what his defense is good at, but right now, through 3 games, the defense isn't good at anything besides beating up on an offensive line that doesn't have anybody like the Cleveland Browns and a quarterback that is just not good in Deshaun Watson. Like, that is when the Cowboys look the best, and I mentioned it in yesterday's video, the post-game reaction. They are a bunch of front runners. They're great when they're leading and they can rush the passer, but when they're losing and when they're trying to get back into a ball game, they can't stop the run for the life of them. They can't. And that is a very concerning aspect of this Dallas Cowboys team going forward. They need to figure something out here because they're 1-2. They have a short week heading into Thursday Night Football against the New York Giants. And that is not going to be an easy contest. It was supposed to be on paper, but the way that the Cowboys are looking, it's not. It's not going to be easy. I don't know what they're going to do to contain Malik Nabers and Daniel Jones on the ground. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But this is what Michael Irvin had to say, and this is the Hall of Famer calling out the players and the front office as well. I needed Dak Prescott and I needed CeeDee Lamb to have one of those big days because it was going to be an offensive battle, Irvin said. I found out other issues even on that side. The Ravens were very physical with CeeDee. They kept pressing him on every which way, and they were very, very physical with him. The thing is, it knocked him off his game. It knocked them off their game. And yeah, CeeDee Lamb, you could tell that he was visibly frustrated, kind of half running his routes because he knew he wasn't getting the ball. He was getting pressed by Marlon Humphrey and Kyle Hamilton. Like, he was just in their back pocket all game long, and that was very concerning to me. There was just nothing that CeeDee Lamb could have done yesterday. He fumbled the ball, obviously visibly upset on the sideline. He did not have a typical CeeDee game yesterday when the Cowboys needed it the most. And now everybody is going to play physical and try to do the same things the Ravens did to CeeDee. Now, all fairness to Michael Irvin, very smart football mind, much smarter than I am. But I don't know if every team can do that to CeeDee Lamb, because we know that the Ravens have one of the best defenses in all of the National Football League, and they have one of the most physical defenses in the NFL as well. So I don't know if every team has the personnel to be able to match that physicality that the Ravens showed yesterday. But it definitely is the blueprint going forward for other teams when looking to slow down CeeDee Lamb. I need the Cowboys to start looking at bringing in or hitting that trade deadline to get some other offensive weapon. You're never going to fix that defense at stopping the run, so you got to try to outscore teams. You got to make a trade somewhere and get another offensive weapon. So Michael Irvin calling it quits on the Cowboys defense already, and I don't blame him. This has been a reoccurring issue for the past few years now. The Cowboys just not being able to stop the run because they're too occupied with speed on the defensive side of the ball. They're a bunch of front runners, like I've mentioned before, and they're not good at stopping the run. Some offensive weapons the Cowboys could acquire would be receivers like the Cincinnati Bengals T. Higgins, Las Vegas Raiders Davante Adams, and possibly Jacksonville Jaguars Christian Kirk. I don't know about you guys, but I can get on some Davante Adams train right here. That would be pretty amazing. It would be, to get Davante Adams from the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know if he's on the block or not. Makes a ton of money, of course, but that would be an amazing addition for this Cowboys squad. They need something, and we saw Amari Cooper yesterday with the Cleveland Browns have an amazing game against the New York Giants. Obviously, they lost, but Cooper is pretty much by himself out there. He has no help. Jerry Jeudy non-existent for the first 3 weeks of the season for Cleveland, and they don't have Nick Chubb either. So Amari Cooper doing what Amari Cooper does, and he was traded away for a 6th-round pick to the Cleveland Browns. Like, I understand the cap situation there, but he is still a very good wide receiver and someone that could have helped out the Cowboys last night when they needed it the most. And this is what Jerry Jones had to say about the loss. No, I'm very disappointed that we got beat today, Jones said. Very disappointed, and you can't in any way sugarcoat the fact that we got beat. And there were parts of the way we got beat that were really areas we've got to get a lot better in. We've got a lot of work to do, but we've got time to do that kind of work, and we got a short week this week, but we've got to start. That was disappointing. When you look at the whole picture, we got outplayed today. Thank you, Jerry. I didn't realize watching 60 minutes of football yesterday that the Cowboys got outplayed. And yeah, there's a lot of work to do, but that's because of you. You did little to nothing to address the biggest issues that were plaguing this roster heading into the offseason, and now this falls on you. I get it that the effort was not there yesterday by the Cowboys defense, but the truth is they are undersized, and they are not equipped to stop a 250-pound running back like Derrick Henry and the best rushing quarterback of all time in Lamar Jackson. They're just not able to do it. And who does that fall on? It falls on you for drafting Mozzie Smith in the 1st round. It falls on you for letting Jonathan Hankins walk in free agency. It falls on you for not addressing the piss-poor D-line that you have built. So here we are now. We're 3 weeks into the season. The Cowboys sit at 1-2 after back-to-back embarrassing losses to the New Orleans Saints and the Baltimore Ravens at home. And this is the reality of the situation. The Cowboys need a win on Thursday Night Football, or else they are in severe trouble. You cannot lose to the New York Giants. I don't care if it's at MetLife Stadium. I don't care if you're playing the game on Mars. You cannot lose on Thursday Night Football to the Giants, because that right there, if they lose, it's the end of the season for me. I am deeming it the end. You can't lose against the Giants. I don't care if they beat the Browns. I don't care if they beat the all-Canton first team. I don't care. You're not losing to your division rival, the Giants, and you have to make a statement on Thursday Night Football with the whole world watching, and you got to get back in the good graces of some of the fans here, because these last 2 games, I've seen a lack of effort and a lack of competitiveness from this Cowboys roster, top to bottom, whether it's the offense, the offensive line, the defense, the defensive line, whoever you want to call out, whatever unit you want to pinpoint the loss on. I mean, the whole squad is just underperforming right now. But that'll wrap it up for this episode of Cowboys Digest. Again, guys, make sure to hit the subscribe button, because around 85% of you who are watching these videos are not subscribed. And it would mean the world to me. It allows me to make this daily content for you, whether it's positive or whether it's negative like today. But Luckily, we have a short week, and they have a chance to redeem themselves on Thursday against the Giants. But that'll wrap it up. Go Cowboys.